Republicans are preparing to reject the 2026 election results. We are now within 100 days of the midterms. Nobody's voted yet. And you've got MAGA candidates already declaring in advance that Democrats will try to steal elections that they might legitimately win. Here is New York Republican gubernatorial candidate Bruce Blakeman speaking with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business. And here's what he has to say. Be careful. These dangerous Democrats will steal an election.
Are you going to be facing that in New York?
Well, we've budgeted a significant amount of money for ballot security. So we have money set aside for ballot security, number one. Number two, we'll have thousands of volunteers to make sure that there are no dirty tricks, that they don't try to steal the election. They will try to steal the election, just like they wouldn't let me speak at the Dominican parade because they didn't want a Republican to speak, just like they tried to eliminate my ability to get matching funds, but a court of 5 Democrats said that that was cheating and they gave me back the matching funds. Yes, they will try everything. But listen, I'm not your typical Republican. I'm a street fighter. I'm going to get in the game. I'm going to get in the fight. I'm going to go to every neighborhood, and we're going to make sure that we have a fair election. And I'm going to win this election because the people are on my side. Democrats come up to me every single day and say, I've never voted Republican before, but I'm voting for you because we need a change. Our party is insane.
I apologize for the disrespectful question, sir, but what specific plan has Blakeman uncovered by Democrats to steal the election? Who's involved? What laws are being broken? Has he notified law enforcement? Can he give us a single piece of evidence? Of course he can. He is planting the allegation so that if he loses in November, he can claim the result proves he was right. I told you they were going to steal it. And it's an unfalsifiable scam. If a Republican wins, the election was secure. If a Republican loses, Democrats must have stolen it. It's the Trump technique. No evidence can ever disprove the conspiracy because the result becomes the evidence. It's same as I've talked a lot about with these conspiracy theorists. If there is no evidence, they go, it's because they covered it up. They covered up the evidence. The fact that you can't find the evidence is the proof. And at some point, you just want to metaphorically slap these people and go, grow up. Losing an election doesn't mean it was stolen. And the projection is extraordinary because Trump and his allies are the people who actually tried to overturn an election and put Trump in power despite losing. Trump lost in 2020. You don't have to look for esoteric definitions of lost. He straight up lost. His own election security officials said this election was really secure. His campaign filed 60-something legal challenges. They failed to produce any evidence that could have changed the result in even a single state. Trump flipped out, tried to get fake slates of electors to go, we declared for Donald Trump our electoral votes. He tried to pressure Georgia's Secretary of State to find him enough votes to reverse the loss. He wanted Mike Pence to block certification, which he couldn't do. He sent an enraged mob toward the Capitol, a mob that wanted to hang Mike Pence. And that was a real attempted election theft. And Republicans have responded by spending 6 years accusing Democrats of doing what Trump actually tried to do. And now they're doing the exact same thing for 2026. Trump gave this speech 2 weeks ago to announce they're going to rig it and they stole 2020 and all this stuff. And now Blakeman goes, they have a plan. They have a plan to steal this thing. They're going to do it. And in the midst of this, they are taking real actions. If it were just this guy going, they're going to steal it. All right, well, listen, it's one guy. But Trump fired the remaining members of the Election Assistance Commission, and he left that agency empty without commissioners. And his FBI seized 2020 ballots from Fulton County. They're considering using AI to examine signatures, and Trump wants local county clerks to have the authority to say, I don't accept these results. They're doing everything to try to steal it. And in the middle of it, they also have asked the Supreme Court to revive an executive order that targets mail-in voting before the midterms. Fortunately, as I told you, federal courts blocked major provisions of that because Trump just doesn't have the power to do it. And they love the other thing that's just wacky is they love talking about how Democrats winning in blue areas is really suspicious. When Spencer Pratt failed miserably in the LA mayor's race, they went, it was fraud. A blue city is not voting for a Republican. That's not really surprising. With Steve Hilton in the California gubernatorial result, it's fraud. Californians are voting for Democrats. What a surprise. And now with New York governor, a blue state, a reliably blue state might not vote for the Republican. It's going to be fraud. These are the people warning that Democrats are going to steal the election. And it's a 3 sort of step strategy. And we've seen it. We've seen it for years. Step 1 is you flood the country with these vague allegations before anybody votes. All right. Second step is you make really basic election procedures. Some people vote by mail. In some states, it takes a little longer to count. Sometimes when the race is really close, it takes a little longer to get a final result. They make that appear suspicious. They go, that's really weird. And then thirdly, if Republicans lose, they say it was fraud. We need officials to intervene. We need courts to intervene. We need federal agencies to intervene. And Blakeman here is doing step 1. Very dangerous rhetoric, because millions of Republican voters have been trained to believe that every Democratic election is illegitimate and to threaten election workers and to pressure officials to discard results that they don't like. And I believe it would be easier to provoke another January 6th because they've already been told democracy failed, even though nobody voted yet. Trump previewed it a little bit in 2020, but he really buckled down on it was rigged after he lost. This time they're starting really early. And if Blakeman has evidence of election stealing operations, I want to know, I want to stop it. Give us the evidence. If he doesn't, which he's presenting none, he is undermining an election because he wants an excuse if voters reject him, which they almost certainly are going to do. These are dangerous people. And the greatest threat to the upcoming election is not the imaginary Democratic conspiracy they keep promising to expose. It's the Republican movement, which is publicly saying, we are not going to accept defeat because it will have been stolen from us if that happens. Dangerous people. Fortunately, we have people on our side doing everything they can to prevent this from happening. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.